ourselves some pine tar again.
We found ourselves some pine tar once again.
It's an unusual spot, a little different.
He is creative. I will give him that. He went from the hand last time
to the wrist,
to the back of the wrist,
to the neck.
Now to the neck. It was a 1-0. And the pitch inside, 2-0 the count. How is it that most pitchers, and granted most pitchers do this, do a better job of hiding it?
That's a question you would have to ask a pitcher, Don. I really don't know. I mean, he sees a lot of pine tar in my glove.
Yes.
And there were some pitchers who would request that I use a little more pine tar in my glove.
In the air to left field. Soriano, the wind's going to play with it. Now he's going to come back to make the catch with his second out. Top of the order now for Grady Sizemore. Got it started for the Red Sox with a triple and scored the game's first run in the bottom of the first inning. Sizemore takes strike one. Bounce straight up for him in the infield and the outfield here on Sizemore. What's the news today? That Daniel Nava was optioned out. A very tough beginning for Nava. And that was a pretty tough conversation for John Farrell. Nava had such a great year last year and such a big part of the championship team.
Yeah, it is difficult to make a decision like that, but you've got to live in the moment. And right now, Daniel Nava is having a very, very difficult time. And as tough as it is for him to accept, I'm sure that he is going to have to go back to, to get that stroke together at the minor league level.
David Ortiz telling Farrell.
Wilson coming up as Farrell's now coming out, and we're going to see what he's going to do here.
He's going to check Pineda.
He's calling Jerry Davis, home plate umpire, and I think he was kind of waiting to see whether this would pop up again, and this time it's tough to deny. All over his neck.
Yep.
Now they're going to check. One time's one thing. Twice is another.
It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing he would try it again.
Will they eject him immediately?
Should be.
They're going to check the neck. Well, he's going to check the ball. He should check the neck. One side or on the other, Jerry. There you go.
There you go. They got it. You found it.
Let's go.
Ejected.
Cheater! Cheater!
Anticipated. Red Sox on top 2-0. David Phelps will be coming in here and get as long as he needs to get ready, as Pineda has been ejected in the second inning.
Girardi turning off the camera.
We will step aside with a pitching change now for the ejection of Pineda.
Girardi was messing with the camera. God forbid they see the cheater walk down the runway.
BMW 320i sedan for as low as $329 a month.
Back at Fenway Park, a upset Joe Girardi, no doubt. His starter has been tossed from the game as they found the pine tar on his neck that John Farrell called him out on, and it was not there to begin the game, but very much there in the second inning of work for Pineda. John Farrell came out to let the umpire know, home plate umpire crew chief Jerry Davis. After hearing what John Farrell was telling about it being all over his neck, they checked the ball, the glove, and they checked the neck, and it was game over at that point.
I think what tipped off John Farrell is obviously the last outing in New York, and we can roll it back a little bit. We saw David Ortiz coming out of the Red Sox clubhouse, and he'd obviously been watching the game on TV, and notified Farrell about the pine tar and where it was located. That's when John made his move to the home plate umpire. Joe Girardi obviously not happy, but you know, it's the second time, and really, when you think about, you know, the first time and it got so much publicity, why would you do it again?
And you have to think.
And why would you glob it again like that?
No, I know, but and knowing Joe Girardi in this situation, that after it happened last time, it was so obvious last time, you have to think that he would go to Pineda and say, okay, you may be able to use it someplace, but do not make it obvious in any way, shape, or form.
In every case that we have seen, it has been very obvious, obviously. And that's not to say that other pitchers don't do the same thing.
Absolutely. But it is the obvious nature in which it has been just kind of put out there.
You see, we'll roll back and watch David Ortiz come out of the Red Sox clubhouse, and he's got a kind of a smile on his face, and I think, you know, he's letting everybody know that the fact of where it is, and you know, he's just laughing at it right now, and here comes John Farrell out to make his move. So kind of expected it. John Farrell kind of expected it, as he mentioned this afternoon in his press conference, as you highlighted, Don.
He had said that hopefully he would be more discreet about it, and he was not, as it turns out. So kind of forced the hand. In this instance, David Phelps giving as long as he needs to get ready as he comes into this game. Phelps' 9th appearance without a record of 4.66 earned run average, 12 Ks and 4 walks, and opponents hitting at 194 against him. Grady Sizemore with a count of 1-2 that Phelps will inherit here. With 2 outs in this second inning, and the Red Sox getting 2 runs in the first inning. Take a 2-0 advantage. Pineda ends up going an inning at 2/3. He threw 40 pitches. And that first inning was not terribly effective, a little bit different, didn't have the control that he had last time out. Now, Joe Girardi, I think, thinks that this camera to his right was part of the problem, so in between innings he decided he would move it, and then he tried to disconnect it.
Well, actually, I think what Joe was doing there, to be quite honest with you, he was kind of pointing down toward the runway.
Ah, I see.
And I think that he did not want that, obviously, following his pitcher back up to the clubhouse, and I think that's what Joe was doing, was spinning it around to get it out of the way.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, let's not watch the cheater.
So 2 down here in the second inning. Phelps is ready.
Way to go, Poppy.
Sizemore coming up.
Be in the clubhouse watching TV. Yankees are cheaters. They always will be.
A triple for Sizemore in the first inning. Came around to score the game's first run.